Hello everyone, in this video I wanted to walk through the informal report assignment. So let's take a look at this. Obviously, biggest thing to take note of right off the bat is the due date. This one is due Friday, December 8th. So unlike pretty much all the other assignments we've done so far this semester, instead of being due on Sunday, this one is due Friday of week 16. And I've got that set up that way since that's right at the end of the semester. I need that extra time to grade all these things. So make sure that you submit it on time. Again, this is all told worth 150 points. So let's take a look at it. So the purpose of the assignment is twofold. Number one is I want you to demonstrate that you know how to put together a well-researched, well-crafted report that follows all the elements of effective business communication we've learned this semester. And then I also want you to put into practice in your own life what you've learned in this class. So you're going to be graded on format, critical thinking analysis, persuasive techniques, grammar mechanics, all those things. So if we kind of skip down here a little bit, this is a report. It must be well organized. It's got to be well researched. There's also an element of a proposal as well, which is obviously persuasive. So we want to make sure that we demonstrate those things that we've talked about this semester. So there's two parts to this assignment. Number one is a short memo report addressed to me, in which you will concisely describe the situation that you're going to be covering, and that's worth 50 points. The second part is an informal report / proposal to the person that is actually going to have the ability to do something about the situation that you're going to describe, and that's worth 100 points total. So again, all told 150, that's 15% of the course grade. So how do you get started? To get started, I want you to choose a real problem or situation. So this is going to be something that you obviously are qualified to research, and not only research but also to propose a plan of action for a solution. Okay, so it also needs to be a real problem or solution for which a written and well-researched report is actually appropriate, right? So not something maybe like a problem with a family member or something like that wouldn't qualify. So the situation must be real. It can't be hypothetical. You must be able to research it. And then also the feasibility of your solution and plan of action must be based on facts, not just your opinion. So here's some examples on the second page of this assignment sheet. So the problem or situation can relate to, number one, your job, right? So if you're currently working, maybe you have an idea of how things could be done more efficiently in your department at work, right? Or maybe you are currently working on putting together some sort of proposal for a client in your job, something like that. That could easily qualify. Number two, the other option would be an organization you're part of. Maybe you're involved on campus with a different type of student organization, and you are aware of a situation that is a problem for your organization. Maybe you have an event that needs better planning or something like that, right? And number three would be another area of life at OSU. So that would be maybe for a class or academics, or maybe you're an athlete, anything related with campus life. So all of these things, you need to already have or be able to acquire the expertise and credibility to propose a detailed plan of action. Okay, so again, this important note on this page of the assignment sheet is experiencing a problem is not the same as having the knowledge and the credibility to propose a solution to it. So this should not be a major, huge problem, right? It's going to be something that you should be able to research, present the report, and a complete plan of action for the solution in roughly 2 to 4 pages in length. I want this report to have utility for you, so pick something that you can actually use, right? If you're not involved with any organization or athletics, or you're not currently employed, pick a situation maybe related to your community. Maybe there's not enough free parking spots in downtown where you live or something like that, right? If you struggle finding a topic, email me as soon as possible this week to discuss your options. If you wait too long, this is going to snowball and get away from you, and then you'll be in trouble. All right, so the next step after you've determined the problem or situation is to find out who has the power to accept or reject your idea for fixing that problem. Okay, so you will write your report to that person, not to me. So if I need information that your intended reader does not need to maybe help me understand the situation more, you need to write it in the first part of the assignment, the memo to me. So part one of the assignment, the memo report to me. So in a short memo report to me, include the following information: the problem, your proposed solution, your analysis of the person to whom you're addressing it to, right? What's your relationship with them? So this is your audience analysis checklist. Your qualifications to propose a solution, not just to understand the problem. What type of research you will need to conduct to find a satisfactory solution, and then any background information that I may need to clearly understand the proposal. Okay. Part 2 is the informal report. Okay, so this is a short report, 2 to 4 pages. It's going to be considered informal. So if this is an internal proposal, right, we'll do a memo. So if this is for your job or an organization you're part of, we would format it that way. If it's an external proposal element to it, we will want to format it as a letter. Okay, so be sure to include all the formatting guidelines attached to either one of those elements. You want to use visuals, tables, figures, graphs, etc. When they will help you emphasize and summarize and clearly clarify important information to your readers. So on this bottom of page 2 here, make sure that you read carefully this bolded list of sections that you want to try to include. Now, your problem may not have all of this included in it, but this is the idea that you need to make sure that you at least ask yourself, do I need to include this information in the report? Okay. So again, 2 to 4 pages is not that long. You know, I want you to change those generic descriptive headings, you know, to informative and content-specific headings whenever possible. Make sure you watch the lecture videos on Chapter 11 and Chapter 12 and read those chapters very, very carefully, because you want to make sure that if you read those chapters very carefully, you're going to see lots of annotated examples of reports, especially if you've never written one before. It's going to be very important for you to do that. So again, the due date, Friday, December 8th at 11:59 p.m. And as this progresses, I will also include a rubric on Brightspace that I think will give you a little bit more of an idea of what to do. So any questions as you move forward this week, you know, I would shoot for at the end of this week, make sure that you've got what you're going to write about decided upon. So if you have issues or problems with that, please let me know as soon as possible.